Let's talk about budgets. Budgets may not feel sexy, may not feel glamorous, but a good budget is the backbone of every successful business. And a budget is not about being stingy. It's not about how many paper clips do we get to buy. It's about being smart and looking forward and thinking about how we're going to receive and get rid of our money. Think of these tips as 10 commandments or guiding principles in your budget. Commandment number 1, thou shalt start with clear goals. So the more clarity you have in your business about what you're trying to achieve, the better your budget will function as a tool. So the budget actually is a numerical way of stress testing your aspirations, your goals. Number 2, thou shalt know thy numbers. So you want to understand how your company's making revenue, the expenses you're spending, your profit margins, and those will be built into your budget model. A good idea to use your historical data to help you predict future trends. Number 3, thou shalt prioritize thy spending. Every business has several categories of spending. There's what we call mandatory spending and discretionary spending. There's also spending that is directly related to how we make revenue, and then money indirectly related to revenue. So there's different ways we can prioritize money, but you need to be clear about what are the most essential ways your business needs to spend money to survive, and you need to allocate funds for growth, emergency, and taxes. Commandment number 4, thou shalt separate business and personal finances. Thou shalt separate business and personal finances, because you get in big trouble if you don't, especially if you report. What goes particularly foul of the IRS is when you are claiming personal expenses as business expenses. It's not illegal to pay for personal expenses to the business, but you have to categorize them correctly, and you need to separate them. Thou shalt update thy budget regularly. So one of the things we like to do with our clients is dust off the budget and update it at least on a quarterly basis, and for some of our clients on a monthly basis. Too often we see clients that if they've gone through the budgeting process, it's something they do once a year, and then it just sits there and it doesn't get used. An unused budget is a wasted tool. Why are you budgeting for your business? Well, it's an exercise in thought discipline. It's an exercise in planning. So it needs to be updated regularly because you want to get better over time with your forecasting and your budgeting. Thou shalt plan for the unexpected. Nothing ever goes completely to plan. Let's just acknowledge that right off the bat. So somewhere in your budget, there needs to be an allowance for contingency, an allowance for stuff happening. Thou shalt be realistic. So don't overestimate or underestimate your revenue, your costs. If you're a client of ours and you tell us that, you're going to 10x your revenue next year, we're going to say that's terrific. Let's see how the numbers play out. Show us how you're going to 10x the revenue. We've had clients where 10x the revenue actually seems pretty realistic once they explain it to us. But we've also had clients where that seems a little bit of wishful thinking. Thou shalt use tools wisely. Once you create a budget, it's a tool, right? So use it. There are budgeting apps. You can use Excel, and you want to use them efficiently and accurately. So keep the budgeting process as simple as possible. Thou shalt communicate thy budget. What good is a budget if the only person that knows the budget is you, the business owner? The budget is a tool designed to help you and your company get through the next 12 months. So if it stays only in your head, it's not a very useful tool. So communicate it with your staff. Thou shalt celebrate thy progress. So very important. You're a hard-working business owner. If you're like me, you tend to focus much more on what has not happened than what has happened. So please, as you work through the year and you see success in your budget, celebrate it. If you're coming under budget in expenses, celebrate that. If revenue is on budget or over budget, celebrate that. Celebrate the big wins, celebrate the little wins, but celebrate. I've given you 10 things, and I don't want to overwhelm you. My suggestion is pick 1, 2, maybe 3 of these things, ideas to start with, and if you've never budgeted, just get started. The most important thing in the budgeting process is getting started. And if you don't know how to do that yourselves, you can check out our website. We have tools to help you get started, and we periodically offer budgeting seminars.